Greetings, brothers, and welcome to Module 1, the Ancestors. This is such a wide topic that maybe needs to be assessed properly, and we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that in life cycles, in many other ways. However, just this topic will require 6 months. So the intention of this brief video is just to give you an introduction about who are the ancestors. What does it mean, ancestors? Ancestors can mean many things for many cultures. Ultimately, what I'm bringing here is the results of my studies and teachings that have been proposed to me by my guides. I deeply honor them. When we're talking about ancestors, it's really important to understand they often relate to the spirit of that person. What I mean by that? I mean that ancestors, yes, relate to our bloodlines, to the people present in our tribe, in our genealogical tree, so people that relate to us through the bloodlines, they relate to us through the waters of our body. However, we specifically talk about ancestors relating to the ones which souls and spirit has been able to travel and come back home after death. What I mean by that, if one of our relatives passed away 1 week ago, we can't consider that ancestors, at least for the teachings that I received. Yet, is a person that is part of the genealogical tree, and definitely a person that must be recognized and included when we do psychogenealogical systemic work. And that's what we're gonna do in this module. But of course, working in psychogenealogic systemic work, sorry for repetition the word, of course we go to touch our roots, we go to touch our essence, we go to touch our sense of identity, we go to touch our sense of belonging, because that's where we come from. Yes, we touch our ancestors, our blood lineage, and with that we touch all the secrets, all the weights, all the things that haven't been acknowledged so far, yet they're still working through us in an unconscious way as trauma repeats itself until finding resolution. Line upon line upon line after line, sun after sun after sun after sun. It's like if you imagine a section of a tree, a transversal section of a tree, and if you see there is a wound at the very beginning, at the inner level of that section, that the wound can perpetuate itself on the next rings and ultimately show itself on the outside, and so manifesting itself, the wound, into patterns, belief systems, way of doing, way of believing, way of act. So it's really important to work on our ancestors, because ultimately working on our ancestors, or to better say in our genealogical tree, give us a ground, give us grounding, give us deep connection to earth. No way we can connect to Mother Earth if you are not aware of our roots. So take in consideration of it. Maybe even just already as I'm talking, start to ask yourself some questions about which area of your genealogical tree are not clear, which area of your genealogical tree are instead really clear to you. What about that uncle? What about that aunt? What about the great-grandfather? What's the story? What was the dynamic? Which part of this genealogical tree seems a bit darker? Well, if there is a part of your genealogical tree that you perceived unclear, probably you can find a big treasure in that. See things. So that's gonna be a big part of this work of researching about the beginning, the research of our identity, research about even gathering informations about where we come from. Ultimately, what you're gonna find in this module, yes, is me talking right now, but you're gonna find even written contents. You're gonna find even a video where I'm gonna explain you how to initially structure your genealogical tree without going too deep, but just for you to have a good idea about how it looks like. And it gives you really good ground to start to give question to yourself, perhaps an input to start to explore your role into the genealogical tree, because that's fundamental. Which role am I playing in my family? Is it my role, or probably I'm playing the role of that uncle, of that brother of my father? Just for give you an example. But this work is so interesting, and sometimes it requires time. I'm still discovering personally many things about my family and my roots and my genealogical tree. So please, if you find this hard, it's okay. If the results that you are getting seems like not really clear, or maybe even disappointing, don't you worry. Keep the little results on the side, and you will see that as you keep on researching, you will discover many things. So ultimately, this is not just a tool for these 6 months, but it's gonna be a tool for your life. And this is really important to understand that. Ultimately, to relate to other ancestors, the tree people, or to better say the plant people, rock people, sky people, sea people, ocean people. These are ancestors, these are living beings, these are spirits, and all of these must be included into this big field called ancestors. And again, it gives us a deep sense of belonging, humility, ultimately make us appreciate the sacredness of this life that we can find in plant people, rock people, in all of the ancestors, in all the dreaming tracks, and all the song lines they created. In the origin of time, all of that we are experiencing right now. These are our ancestors as well. These are people as well. So please, don't limit your vision of ancestors. Don't limit your vision to systemic work. Because yes, we are talking about people that relate to us through bloodlines, but we can talk about even something wider than that. Thank you for listening.